Belfast is a city that rose not from ancient kings or crumbling monasteries, but from industry, ambition, and a stubborn refusal to remain small. It sits at the mouth of the River Lagan, where the waters widen into Belfast Lough, a place that once offered little more than mudflats and opportunity. Its Irish name, Belfast, the mouth of the sandbank ford, hardly promises grandeur, yet Belfast has always had a habit of exceeding modest expectations. If you enjoy stunning drone views paired with unforgettable history, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an adventure with Horizon History. Let's take flight. For much of its early history, Belfast was a minor settlement, overshadowed by older Irish towns with deeper roots. It was only in the 17th century, under the influence of English and Scottish planters, that the town began to grow in earnest. The plantation of Ulster brought new people, new trades, and no shortage of tension, though Belfast, even then, seemed inclined toward commerce rather than conflict. By the 18th century, the town had found its footing. Linen became its lifeblood, earning Belfast the title of Linenopolis. The industry clothed half the known world, or so Belfast liked to claim, and the wealth it generated transformed the town into a bustling centre of trade. It is said that the merchants of Belfast could judge the quality of linen by touch alone, though whether this was skill or simply a good excuse to handle the goods is open to interpretation. The 19th century saw Belfast expand at a pace that must have startled its own inhabitants. Shipbuilding, engineering, and manufacturing turned the town into a city of smoke, steel, and remarkable confidence. Nowhere was this more evident than in the great shipyards of Harland and Wolff, where vast vessels were constructed with a precision that bordered on pride. The most famous of these was RMS Titanic, launched in 1911, a ship so grand it was declared unsinkable, a word history would treat with quiet irony. Belfast's industrial success brought prosperity, but also complexity. Workers arrived in great numbers, and with them came divisions of class, religion, and identity that would shape the city's character for generations. The 20th century, particularly the period known as the Troubles, cast a long shadow over Belfast. Streets that once echoed with the noise of industry fell silent or tense, and the city became known as much for its conflict as for its achievements. One of the most striking legacies of that troubled time is found not in official records, but on the city's walls. Belfast's murals, painted across gable ends and alleyways, tell stories in bold colour and unflinching honesty. Some commemorate political struggle, others honour local heroes, and a few offer messages of peace that feel both hopeful and hard-won. They are not merely decoration, but conversation, public, permanent, and sometimes provocative. A walk along the Falls Road or the Shankill is to read a living history, where paint has become memory and walls have learned to speak. Yet Belfast, like many Irish places, has shown a remarkable capacity for renewal. In recent decades, the city has emerged with a new confidence, its old shipyards transformed into spaces of memory and innovation. The story of the Titanic is now told not as a boast, but as a reflection of ambition, craftsmanship, and the humbling force of the sea. There is humour in Belfast too, sharp and quick as a well-turned phrase. The people of the city have long possessed a wit that can disarm and delight in equal measure. It is said that in Belfast, a serious conversation will eventually become a joke, and a joke may carry more truth than expected. Today, Belfast is a city that balances its past with its present. The River Lagan still flows steadily toward the Lough, indifferent to history's upheavals. Victorian buildings stand beside modern glass, and the echoes of shipbuilders mingle with the voices of a new generation. Belfast may not have begun as a grand city, but it has become one, shaped not by ease, but by endurance, and by a spirit that refuses to be defined by any single chapter of its story. Thanks for flying with Horizon History. If you enjoyed the journey, those sweeping drone views, and the stories woven beneath them, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling us where you'd like to explore next. Your support keeps us in the sky and the history coming. Until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon.